So ahead of the Republican National Convention, Ivanka Trump is trying to get some attention back to herself again. She posted this photo of herself on Instagram. You can take a look at that photo right there. She also just gave an interview with the Lex Fridman podcast YouTube channel. I'm only going to show you a small portion of it. The full thing is on Lex's channel, but here's a small portion of it. I just want to show you the types of things that she's saying as part of her rehab tour. Here, play this clip to rehab her image. Here, play this clip.
As you get older, you may act less impulsively, but I think you're more attuned with, you have more experience. So your gut is more well honed, so
Sure.
Your instincts are more well honed. I think, I found that to be true for me.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel as reckless as when I was younger.
And I think as we will see Ivanka now opportunistically trying to get back into the spotlight, I think it's important to reflect how she has shamed and embarrassed our nation. Remember when Donald Trump put her into the administration? I mean, none of us wanted her there. She swiftly got trademarks expedited from China. Donald Trump worked that deal out. China grants 18 trademarks in 2 months to Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka. Then Donald Trump sent Ivanka as our main ambassador and the main U.S. representative to the G7. And remember, people didn't want to, none of the world leaders wanted anything to do with her, and she just showed up and wanted to talk to them. You remember this? Here, play this clip.
Yes, but this is law, social justice. And if
It's all, yeah.
As soon as you start talking about the economic aspect of it, though,
Yeah.
a lot of people start listening who wouldn't
Start
otherwise
listening.
listen.
And the same with the defense side of it,
Yeah.
in terms of the whole sort of ecosystem. It's been very male dominated. So
One of the things I can't get over, with Ivanka and all the Trump kids is just the ghoulish nature of what Donald Trump did to their mom, Ivana. You can go back also and take a look at some of the videos I've done about Ivana's deposition testimony and what's been written about in books about Ivana. She retracted the statements after Donald Trump's lawyers got involved, but go and listen to what Ivana accused Donald Trump of. We have some videos on that as well. But then after Ivana died and she fell downstairs at her apartment, she was buried at the back of Bedminster, and in the back lot of the golf course, and they let all of the shrubs grow over it. And nothing was done about it. There was an exclusive by the Daily Mail there. I mean, just how bizarre and ghoulish is that? And then, of course, there's the way that Donald Trump would talk about Ivanka. Here's Donald Trump in his own words. What kind of father talks about their daughter this way? Here, play this clip.
She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
If I weren't happily married and, her father.
My daughter,
is.
Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall, she's almost 6 feet.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
By the way, Ivanka made about $640 million while she was in the White House. I mean, just think about that. $640 million. And then Jared Kushner received about $3 billion, about $2 billion from the Saudis, and then another billion and a half from various other Middle East nations for his Affinity Partners fund while he was given a position. He couldn't get a national security clearance, but he was out there as America's main negotiator on all things Middle East and all things, I think, kind of everything. I mean, how embarrassing was that? Here's a chart of all of the money that he received. Take a look at it right there. Here, by the way, is an interview with Jared Kushner, where he's asked about doing business with the Saudis, and he's like, "Oh, we're still talking about this." Here, watch this clip.
As you said, lots and lots of private equity firms, other folks are trying to raise money from Saudi Arabia and are raising money from Saudi Arabia. Some, however, stopped after the Jamal Khashoggi murder. Some either gave money back or stopped. At the time, you said you wanted to wait for the DNI report, for the kind of official report, for the State Department report, before talking about it. You kind of only give very glancing mentions in your book to it. The DNI report came out a couple weeks after you left the White House. It says that MBS personally was responsible. Do you agree with the DNI? Do you believe that report?
Are we really still doing this, Dan?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
So let's go to this. The way that we looked at our policy at the time was let's focus on what's in the interest of America.
I'm not arguing that. But that you, at the time, you said you wanted to wait and see what the U.S. government determined. The U.S. government's made a determination. You're obviously still in business with him. Do you believe the U.S. government assessment? You might not, but do you believe it?
So let me say this. I have not seen the DNI report that the Biden administration put out there.
And so as Ivanka wants to get in the spotlight again, I think it's important to show her $24 million fixer-upper on Indian Creek Island that she purchased right after, that's what they call it, the fixer-upper, after she left the White House. I mean, making tons of money, apparently, in the White House right there. I mean, by the way, we here at the MeidasTouch Network made numerous videos back in 2021 about Ivanka, about the Trump kids. You remember this one that we did? We called it By Ivanka. And this was a video we made in 2020. We re-released it in 2021. Here, play this clip.
Your journey to this day did not come without challenges, sacrifices, determination, grit, sweat, and likely even a few tears.
Tear gas is now being fired.
An entirely peaceful protest.
Our entire society is engaged in a national endeavor to take care of the safety and well-being of our people.
You have to dominate the streets.
You are a wartime graduate.
Go inside now! Get in the house!
In my own life, I found that my greatest personal growth has arisen from times of discomfort and uncertainty.
The Chinese government awarded Ivanka 7 new trademarks.
Hours later, she dined with the Chinese president at her father's Mar-a-Lago resort.
Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner earned at least $82 million last year.
Throughout our history, brave men and women have faced daunting challenges, and they have embraced the adventure.
President Trump was briefly taken to the White House underground bunker.
I had deferments because I had a foot thing, and I had deferment for that.
An 8-foot-high fence has been put up at the White House.
No person will be unchanged from living through this present hardship.
Here was a video that we did highlighting hashtag Trump crime family. Remember this one? Play the clip.
The family is a criminal enterprise.
Russian mobsters and corrupt oligarchs use Trump's properties not only to launder vast sums of money, but even as a base of operations for their criminal activity.
Money tied to human trafficking and prostitution rings, that's another big one.
I'll tell you what, it's an organized crime family as far as I'm concerned.
According to the Times tonight, President Trump has a previously undisclosed bank account in China. That company, mysteriously, showed a huge spike in revenue right after Trump was sworn in as president.
He goes to China, the kid is followed like a vacuum cleaner. Follows and follows and follows.
Ivanka Trump, her business won trademark approvals in China the same day she met the Chinese president at her father's Mar-a-Lago resort.
Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner made at least $82 million last year while serving as unpaid White House advisors.
Here's a guy didn't have a job, but now he's taking in millions and plenty of it.
There are new questions tonight about the Eric Trump Foundation.
Charity golf events meant to raise money for children with cancer.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars went to the Trump family business.
It's a crime family. He's following his father.
A crowdfunding campaign to build sections of the southern border wall.
This is private enterprise at its finest, doing it better, faster, cheaper.
Bannon is accused of taking nearly $1 million of that campaign to fund his own lavish lifestyle.
The only thing he built up is a huge bank account for his son.
What a disgrace. It's a crime family.
Support for today's episode comes from Hexclad. Revolutionize your cooking with Hexclad cookware, where innovation meets culinary excellence. Hexclad simplifies your kitchen time while adding elegance to every meal. Hexclad has transformed the cooking industry with their all-in-one hybrid pan. You get the convenience of non-stick, the versatility of cast iron, and the durability to last a lifetime. Yes, Hexclad cookware comes with a lifetime warranty. Whether you're grilling or hosting a dinner party, Hexclad delivers unbeatable performance and style. Even Gordon Ramsay, the ultimate critic, trusts Hexclad pots and pans in his home and Michelin star restaurants. If it's good enough for Gordon, I know that you'll love it too. For a limited time, Hexclad is offering our listeners 10% off. Just go to hexclad.com/Meidas. Support our show. Check them out at hexclad.com/MEIDAS. Now, honestly, I was using all sorts of pots and pans before I got my Hexclad, and having food stick to those pots and pans and ruin the dish that I was working on, or even just being able to throw them in the dishwasher was so incredibly frustrating. My Hexclad pots and pans have really made my life so much easier and have upped my cooking game, whether I'm cooking steaks, fish, eggs, veggies, or making pasta, anything. I hosted a dinner party just the other night and got a bunch of compliments from my friends who are pretty tough critics, I might add. Hexclad's hybrid technology offers the benefits of stainless steel, cast iron, and nonstick in one pan. They're metal utensil safe, dishwasher safe, and oven safe up to 500 degrees, and they're induction ready with stay cool handles. Hexclad's elegant design and durable construction make it the perfect choice for entertaining all summer long. Impress your guests with beautifully prepared dishes that look as good as they taste. For a limited time only, our listeners get 10% off your order with our exclusive link. Just go to hexclad.com/Meidas. Support our show. Check them out. It's hexclad.com/MEIDAS. Bon appetit. Let's eat with Hexclad's revolutionary cookware. Elevate your cooking game to new heights with Hexclad.
Here's one we did about creepy Trump, and I think we actually, back in the day, this one was put on Fox. Here, play this clip.
A lot of really creepy statements, actions for sure, but statements that he's made in the past that make me very uncomfortable, certainly as a mother, but as a person who breathes air.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Really creepy statements.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
Yeah. It makes me very uncomfortable that he would look at certain other Americans the way he apparently has in the past.
What does Tiffany have with Marlon?
She's got Marlon's legs.
Creepy.
We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
He's definitely not a typical father.
Creepy.
Here was another one we did by Don Jr. Play this clip.
The guy doesn't know what he's doing. It's gross negligence, and honestly, it's worse. It's just sheer incompetence.
I think we're going to be very good with the coronavirus. I think that at some point that's going to sort of just disappear, I hope.
The nation's death toll now tops 135,000.
There's no enthusiasm. He can't get people to show up or rally. They don't want him on the stump. Honestly, they don't even want him on a teleprompter because he can't even get that right.
They delivered a swift and swip-in, you know, that sweeping and enormous, really an enormous.
This guy is the epitome of the swamp.
President Trump's pardons. Most are white-collar criminals with personal or financial ties to the president.
Whether it's the brother, whether it's the sister, the entire family has enriched themselves.
The Chinese government awarded Ivanka 7 new trademarks.
They can say one thing, do the other, and never get called on it. It's asinine.
MeidasTouch is responsible for the content of this advertising.
And here's another one we did. He went to Jared. Play this clip.
My name is Jared Kushner. I am senior advisor to President Donald J. Trump.
One day he said, I want to come down and I want to have peace in the Middle East.
It's a perfectly qualified team.
How is that?
No, I was joking. The feeling in the room was thrilled.
The proposal crafted by President Trump's son-in-law was considered dead on arrival.
Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner earned at least $82 million last year.
Jared Kushner was denied security clearance over concerns about foreign influence, private business interests.
Do you pose a grave national security concern to the country?
The curious coincidence of Jared Kushner's failure to secure an investment from Qatar before he advised Donald Trump to support the Saudis' damaging blockade against the country.
The Crown Prince is boasting that Kushner was, quote, in his pocket.
The coronavirus hitting all-time highs.
Unnamed White House officials have described your role as being something of running a shadow task force.
So PPE has been sporadic.
The notion of the federal stockpile was it's supposed to be our stockpile. It's not supposed to be state stockpiles that they then use.
Now more than 125,000 lives lost.
40 million people have lost their jobs.
The federal government rose to the challenge, and this is a great success story. The hope is that by July, the country's really rocking again.
Jared's done an outstanding job.
And I think it's important also for Democratic lawmakers and those in the pro-democracy community to just call out the hypocrisy here. Like, here's Congressmember Eric Swalwell at a recent hearing using his questioning time to contrast the things that Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner actually did with the things Republicans accuse Hunter Biden of doing. Play this clip.
In your interactions with the Biden family, which you've told us all about throughout the day, did you ever observe the Chinese government grant 22 patents to any of Joe Biden's children while Joe Biden was in office?
I did not.
Did you ever observe the Chinese government, did you ever observe Joe Biden ever own or operate any hotels while he was in public office and take millions of dollars from foreign governments?
I did not.
Did you ever observe Joe Biden employ any of his children or their spouses in the White House as vice president or president?
I did not. I can't speak to that.
Did you ever observe, while observing the Bidens install a family member to be the co-chair of the DNC?
I'm sorry, ask the question again?
Did you ever observe the Bidens install a family member to be the co-chair of the Democratic National Committee?
I did not.
Did President Biden or anyone in his family take $2 billion from the Saudi government?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did President Biden or anyone in his family get fined $355 million for tax fraud?
Not that I'm aware of.
Mr. Parnas, as you've observed Mr. Bobulinski today and his fealty and dedication and loyalty to the Trump family, is that something you recognize as somebody who was also in that cult before?
Absolutely.
Is there hope for our man Tony here?
Very little, I think, until he hits a brick wall.
And in your experience, on a scale of 1 to 10, how eager was the Trump campaign in your interactions to manufacture dirt on Joe Biden? 1 to 10, 10 being the highest.
10 plus.
10 plus. Would it surprise you, Mr. Parnas, that the Russians and in their disinformation campaign outlets have often cited Chairman Comer's testimony and allegations against the Biden family to make their own allegations against Joe Biden?
No, it doesn't surprise me because that's exactly what they want to happen.
Mr. Chairman, it's over. It's over. It's time to pack it up.
Or here's Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett also pointing out the hypocrisy. Play this clip.
But what I continue to see is that Trump seems to only care about his money. Democrats on this committee publicly released financial documents detailing how Trump received over $5.5 million from the Chinese government. Not only that, these records also showed how President Trump and his White House senior advisor daughter, Ivanka, received hundreds of trademarks by the PRC during that time. So I'm going to skip to this timeline because I want to make sure we cover this. ZTE is a China telecommunications company which has had extremely close ties to the Chinese government, including reports showing ZTE employees entering and exiting Chinese spy facilities. Unfortunately, what we saw when we look at this timeline is that in May of 2018, China approved Ivanka's trademarks for bath mats, textiles, and baby blankets. May 7th, 2018, China approved 5 additional trademarks. May 13th, 2018, President Trump's tweets, he's instructed the Commerce Department to reverse its decision to sanction ZTE. June 7, 2018, Ivanka Ivanka's company gets 3 more provisional Chinese trademark approvals the same day the Trump administration officially announces an agreement to lift the sanctions on a 7-year.
Gentlelady's time's expired. Chair recognizes Mr. Sessions from Texas.
By the way, there's a photo of Ivanka, Melania, and Karen McDougal, who Donald Trump was having an affair with at that time, right there. So, look, Ivanka's back into the spotlight. I think it's fair game to call all of this out right now. And the question is do we, the people, want this family grifting off us and exploiting us and using our tax dollars to enrich themselves? I mean, Trump's doing it with his political action committees to pay for his plane and stylists for Melania and pay for his hotels. But do we, the people, want our country to be turned into his piggy bank? I don't think so. It's not what that flag stands for. It's not what our Constitution stands for. We, the people, have the power. Remember that. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.